If we were to look around at a team, again, it could be a team of volunteers or a team at the office, I can almost guarantee you the people who are most worn out and on the verge of burnout are the ones who are the most organized. Why? Because they're the most highly trusted and therefore the most highly entrusted to both duties and responsibilities. Hey there, my name is Vanessa Kaiser. I'm a ranch girl turned social worker turned business leader turned entrepreneur. I love to explore all things organization, leadership, growth, inspiration, and efficiency. There's a phrase we use a lot around here called rhythmic living, which I define as the continuous cycle of assessing what season of life we're in and how we create habits, routines, and processes that support our current season. This show is for business owners, leaders, mamas, aunties, sisters, and friends who want to grow and live inspired. Welcome to the Inspiring Heights podcast. Have I ever mentioned that I'm a little bit of an organization nerd? My first summer out of high school, I lived with my sister in Minnesota. This was my first time away from home, and it was such a sweet season together. Sissy had this big closet pantry, and I decided one day that it needed to be organized. So I pulled everything out and I sorted it by food type, and then I rearranged it and put it back in a way that was both functional and aesthetically pleasing. And then proud as punch, I texted her and I'm like, I did some major cleaning today and you are going to be so excited when you get home. So she pulls into the garage and she comes in and she was surprised to find that I had done exactly 0 of the following normal house cleaning chores: sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, cleaning the bathroom, the basics. So with what could be described as hesitant curiosity, she said, so what exactly did you clean today? And to my delight and her under amusement, I threw open the doors of that sparkling pantry. Ah, the fresh feel of a newly organized pantry. Is there really anything better? She giggled and said, that's so nice. And also, you and I have a very different perspective on what cleaning means. This is what I would call organizing. Vacuuming the floor and doing the dishes? That's what I would call cleaning. Now, don't worry, I do occasionally clean too, but I find organizing to be such a much more exhilarating process. Not to mention the fact that cleaning is much more easily done when the space is organized. Am I right or am I right? The thing about organization is that it extends far past pantries and shoe closets, and I would contend is right up on the line of critical for creating and maintaining efficient processes, hitting deadlines, leading humans, and ultimately for living present. Have you ever reached for a bottle of pain reliever to kick those cramps to the curb? Or an allergy pill when the cotton is flying and your nose can't seem to stop running? Me too, girl. Me too. But the truth of the matter is, allergy medicine completely knocks me out. And honestly, I would rather be reaching for a natural remedy that actually treats the root and not just the symptom any day. So when my friend introduced me to Earthly, and it really worked, like I haven't taken ibuprofen for those stubborn cramps since I started using Earthly kind of worked, I knew I couldn't keep it to myself. Earthly Wellness is a family-owned company, founded out of a need to help solve some of their own daughter's health issues. The mission of Earthly is to change the way that the world sees healthcare. They believe that everyone should have equal access to all modalities of medicine and be free to choose the approach to their health that they want to. Earthly has a wide variety of products ranging from herbal remedies, my personal favorite, many of which we literally use every single day in this house, to cleaning products and lots of things in between. For my friends, if you are a first-time customer to Earthly, you can use promo code CHOOSENATURAL. That's choose natural in all caps to get 10% off your first order. If you are a returning customer who hasn't ordered in over a month, you can use promo code COMEBACK. That's COMEBACK in all caps for 10% off your order. Just head over to earthly.com/red/inspiring heights. That's earthly.com/RED/inspiring heights. I'll link all this for you in the show notes. Over the years, especially as people get to know me and see how I move through life, which is usually with a color-coded planner and a notebook with coded symbols and a giant cup of coffee in a hydro flask, I've had many people say some version of, I wish I could be as organized as you, but my brain just doesn't work that way. I'll be honest and say I've received those words differently depending on who they're coming from. From family and friends, I take that as a great compliment. The truth is, when you're an organization nerd, it feels good when people see it. On the other hand, when I heard those words from colleagues or team members, they hit different. Because more times than I can count, I've translated those words to mean, great, you're organized and on top of things, which means I don't have to pee and the work's still going to get done. As if somehow being organized automatically translates to more responsibilities. Now, I'm all about transparency, so let me come at this exact same issue through the lens of a leader. I would be lying if I said I never gave more responsibilities to team members whom I knew were organized versus those I knew were not. I did. A lot. Because it was easier to simply be able to trust someone to do what you know needs done than it was to work with a person that can't seem to keep things together and moving forward. I want to walk through that though for a second. It's interesting to me how frequently this occurs in life. It happens in the workplace, it happens in ministry, it happens in community involvement groups, sports, school, etc., where we find organized humans, we load them up with responsibility and tasks. We know they can do it, and we take full advantage of that. Meanwhile, we are moving full steam ahead, and we let those who are unorganized stay unorganized. We don't take time to coach. We don't take time to have honest and vulnerable conversations. And frankly, we don't take time to move them off the bus if it turns out they're not a good fit. But eventually, there's a breaking point. If we were to look around at a team, again, it could be a team of volunteers or a team at the office, I can almost guarantee you the people who are most worn out and on the verge of burnout are the ones who are the most organized. Why? Because they're the most highly trusted and therefore the most highly entrusted to both duties and responsibilities. And we do a lot to pat their egos. We say things like, I'm so glad I can always count on you. Or, so-and-so is my rock star. She's one of the most organized and efficient people you'll ever meet in your life. Or, thank you for your dedication to this team. It doesn't go unnoticed. Now listen, those words may be. In fact, I would even offer they generally are honest and authentic words of affirmation and encouragement. But if you're the leader in this scenario who's constantly saying those words while ignoring the unorganized team member and allowing them to work at a lower, slower capacity, your words are only going to take you so far. It's time to start coaching our unorganized team members and helping them live into their full capacity. This may sound direct, but here it goes. Disorganization leads to great inefficiency. I don't like to use words like always or never, so I won't say that this is always true, but I will say that it is true a good majority of the time. Disorganization leads to great inefficiency. So let's talk about how to fix it. Maybe you're the leader of the team that has members who are scattered and unorganized. Or maybe you yourself are the disorganized human. Either way, I see you. I've been in your shoes. Sure, I'm the organization queen, but if you've ever seen me move, you understand. Even those of us who love organization have our breaking points. Let's start by knocking one lie right in the teeth. That famous one that a lot of unorganized people like to use. My brain just doesn't work that way. Here's the thing. We're all different. We have different strengths, different weaknesses, different ways of learning and growing, different ways of processing information. That's part of the beauty of this world, is that we aren't all the same. We aren't robots, even those of us who are organizational nerds. So let's set this lie down and say, no more will I use my brain as an excuse for disorganization. Perhaps our brain doesn't automatically think ahead. It doesn't look at a mess and figure out how to pull it apart and put it back together neat and tidy. It doesn't work in color-coded planners or fancy spreadsheets. That is okay. It is okay to own that organization doesn't come naturally to you. Because the good news is, organization can be a learned skill. I believe that some people are more naturally bent towards organization, to be sure. But whether or not it comes naturally to you, being functionally organized requires discipline. For example, I find great joy in having a color-coded planner and opening it every morning to sketch out the day ahead. But even in my enjoyment of it, it still requires discipline. If you or someone that you're leading or working alongside is struggling with organization, start swapping out the lie, my brain doesn't work that way, with organization doesn't come naturally to me. So this will have to be a skill that I work to learn. In the famous words of one Kendra Adachi, the lazy genius, the next step is to start small. We talk about this a lot, but when we get determined, sometimes we try to tackle more than we can actually chew. This will lead to choking and then relapse, so let's just skip that part and choose instead to start small. Identify a few areas of low-hanging fruit, those places where disorganization is creating a problem, and getting organized would be fairly simple to accomplish and maintain while providing a sense of accomplishment. Sometimes starting with physical organization can be helpful because the win is automatic when the space is tidy, and it can serve as a very consistent reminder that the discipline is paying off. When getting started on strengthening our organizational muscles, we need to have a hook into our why. Just like if I started going to the gym one day and bench pressing 150 pounds without having an end goal or purpose in mind, the next morning after my muscles are so sore I can barely get out of bed, my motivation tends to wear off. We need to connect our organization motivation to a why. As they say in Tiny Habits, the motivation monkey will come and go. So I say, let's deep root a banana tree to help keep it around, shall we? I'm going to speak honestly and boldly, leader to leader, for a moment. You ready? If you're listening to this, knowing that you need to start organization coaching with someone on your team, you need to help them understand their why. Yeah, sure, there are people who want to get better and they want to grow and they want to get organized, and that's amazing. But there are also plenty of people who feel totally justified in their mess and could care less about deep-rooted banana trees. As leaders, it can feel hard to be direct sometimes. I've been there myself. But if we are serious about team members pulling their weight and not relying more heavily on those who are more organized to hold up their unorganized coworkers' workload, we have to get seriously direct. That conversation may look something like, Susie, you bring a lot to this team through your creativity and ability to interact well with others. But I've been noticing for some time that your disorganization is leading to missing deadlines, sloppy work, and overall is not meeting the expectations of this team. I am committed to helping you get organized through some coaching in the next couple of months. But I need you to understand, I am also looking for a commitment from you to grow in these areas. If I don't start to see that growth within the next 2 months, we are going to have to part ways. Now at least Susie has part of a why. We hope that she has her own desire for personal growth, but as a leader, we need to help her understand if she values her position on the team organization is a requirement, not an option. All right, let's get back to the banana tree. You know how we're a little bit about inspiration around here at Inspiring Heights? I believe that when it comes to coaching of any kind, finding a way to build inspiration can take a student, be it us or someone on our team, farther down the path of growth. Everyone is inspired by different things. Some might be inspired by watching a YouTube video of how to design cute planner pages or meeting notes that keep them on track and organized. Others might be inspired by success stories of people who've gone before them. Some are inspired when they sit down and work alongside someone that they admire, who's exhibiting some of the very habits that we're looking for them to build. Perhaps it's listening to podcasters or influencers on building organizational muscles. So whether it's yourself or someone that you are looking to walk alongside as they grow their organizational tool belt, ask the question, what would be inspiring? And then make every reasonable effort to consume that inspiration. I'll end on the accountability note. In situations like this, where growth is critical, having an accountability partner is of great help. If you're the one trying to grow an organization, invite someone you trust into this with you. Help them hold you accountable by providing specific things that you're wanting them to watch out for or ask you about to ensure that your growth in organization is occurring. If you're going to be coaching someone on your team to grow in organizational skills, you will act as the accountability partner. Work with your team member to come up with the tick marks of growth that they will be working towards. It's good to link arms with team members and let them be involved in this conversation. It helps a bunch with ownership. That said, if there are super specific things that you are needing to see from that person, make sure that you are clear in your expectations. So the great news is this: organization, even if it doesn't come naturally to you, is obtainable. And that indeed is great news, because organization is a key to efficient productivity. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Do you have questions, comments, or insights on today's content? I would love to hear from you. You can DM me on Facebook or Instagram, or head over to our website, inspiringheights.org, and click on the Contact Us form. I will link all those locations here in the show notes. P.S. If you haven't already, I would love for you to leave a 5-star rating and a quick review of the podcast. This helps get our content in the hands of new listeners. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and follow us on social media for rhythmic doses of inspiration. All right, friends, take a deep breath and be inspired where your feet are. Bye for now.